It's a bit of a dreary day here in Austin. It's overcast, which is a bit abnormal for here, and misty, a little bit rainy, and it just seems like the perfect day to stay inside and do some plant chores. So grab a coffee, make some tea. We are going to be very chill today and do some plant chores. I do have another plant pest in the house, so we're definitely going to be doing some treating of a bunch of plants near the area where I found it, and probably just some general cleaning up of my plants, cutting off some yellow leaves. There's one plant I definitely want to stake up, and I don't know what else we'll get into, but we're gonna have a good time doing it. Let's get started. Winston is relaxing, plant chores ready. Anyway, this is the main culprit. My anthurium fingers has spider mites. You can see even just how yellow and speckly a lot of these leaves are. I have already treated it, but we're going to be treating all of the plants that it was near on this bench. You can see I've already removed some of them, and I've already treated both of these anthurium. They were looking a little funky, and I didn't see any sign of spider mites on them, but that could have been the reason why I'm seeing some yellowing. So hopefully that problem is gone. And now we're gonna treat the rest of these and probably just clean them up a little bit in the meantime as well. I thought that the easiest place to get this done would be in the tub, so that's where we're at now. And I figured we'll just do one plant or so at a time, starting with my anthurium veitchii, which is working on a new leaf. I think it's too heavy for me to, there you go. You can kind of see it there, which is very exciting. So I don't think I see any signs of spider mites. Really, it seemed like a very mild case on my anthurium fingers as well, because I barely saw any webbing, but obviously there was a lot of damage. But anyway, I think step one will be chopping off some of these yellowy leaves, just because I really want my plant collection to look really good, and this doesn't look good. And I can't find my plant shears anywhere, so for better or worse, we're using kitchen shears, and then I'll obviously wash them before I put them back in our knife block. And I also wanted to share that the treatment that I'm going to be using for these plants is the Perfect Plantista Houseplant Insecticide. Their old version, which has neem oil in it, I guess their new version doesn't have any neem oil and it has thyme oil, so I'd love to try that at some point, but I'm working my way through what I have left. And this is about, I have 1.5 liters. I might go through all of this today. This is new to me. It is an electric sprayer. It is so nice. I've already sprayed down my anthurium fingers like you saw, and a few other plants, and I can't believe I lived without this for so long. It's very important with spider mites to alternate what spray that you use, because they can become resistant to the same spray if you use it all the time. So there's a part of me that wants a second one to have something else mixed up to make alternating easy, but fingers crossed that this spider mite issue doesn't get that bad to where I need something like that. But yeah, let me show you how this sprayer works. Actually, let's chop the leaves and then I'll show you how the sprayer works. I literally just cleaned the tub, which is great for you guys. You get a clean tub to look at, but it feels unfortunate to just dirty it up again. But these are very obviously yellow for sure. And then I really just want to get a good look and just see, like, how can I make this plant look better? I think I'm gonna take this off. Would it look better if these were tied up like this? I think this one probably looks fine the way that it is. I hope the next leaf is extra long and webbed like this one is. So beautiful. But I don't know, this leaf looks a little bad, and so does this one. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and take those off as well. Now let's work with the mister. It comes out very quickly and kind of uses a lot of product, so I suppose keep that in mind. But sometimes I'll spray, if you click this button, it will spray the entire time. So sometimes I just click it in short little bursts, but since we're in the tub, I might just spray it the whole time. But yeah, these are the short little bursts. Ooh, and then if you press it too hard, it will stay on. And then we'll do the backs. And for good measure, I'll do some of the soil and call that good. We'll let this dry. The next victim is my philodendron billietiae, and this one I think is ready to be staked up to the pole, so we're gonna do that. Should probably make sure that it's the right size first. It's probably good. Let's see, I want this to connect to the pole so that it can grow up it. I'm just gonna attach it like so. All right, my biggest recommendation when treating for spider mites is to spray the plant off with water first, which I didn't do with my veitchii because it wasn't thirsty, so I didn't want to water it. But this actually needs water, so we're gonna water it, let that dry a little, and then spray it with the Perfect Plantista. So let's water it first. Love having a shower hose attachment. Awesome, let's do a third plant. I think I have room here for at least 3 before we do a different plant chore while these kind of dry. Next, we are working on my monstera lechleriana, and this is another one. I don't know how many cuttings in here. I think just 2, but I think it's ready to be attached for sure. It's just kind of figuring out how I want to do that. Probably been ready to be attached actually. This one's growing into the soil. And this has beautiful fenestrations eventually, so that is why I want to get it up here on the pole to make that more likely. I think this right one might be a little too squished on here, but I'll keep an eye on it. This left one is good and should hopefully root in now. I do think there's only 2 cuttings. But all right, this also doesn't need watered, so I'm just gonna spray it down with the Plantista. And again, no signs of spider mites. Just trying to do my due diligence since my plants were very close together where they were. I should also say that Perfect Plantista smells so much. If you're very sensitive to smell, it's like it smells very, very strongly of peppermint, which it doesn't smell like neem oil at all, which is nice, but if you're sensitive to smells of peppermint, it might be too much for you. I'll do the soil a bit, and I'll do the entire moss pole as well. All right, we'll let this dry and go do a different plant chore for now. For our next chore, we're here in my bedroom, and I don't film a ton in here, so welcome. And we're going to be working on my a little bit crazy aglaonema pictum tricolor. I've actually been working on a themed video that is about plants that I was influenced by that are worth it versus plants that might be two separate videos versus plants that I was influenced by that are not worth it. Maybe it'll be one video, I don't know. But I was actually going to put this on a plants that I was influenced by that are not worth it video because the growing pattern for this is just so silly. But then it's put out a bunch of really, really nice leaves, especially this one. It's just beautiful. And so now I'm feeling invested to making this plant look really good. And while I like the crazy nature, I think it's leaning over a bit too much. So we are going to stake it up with a taller stake. I also think I want to cut some of the leaves off that are looking bad. I tried to put this in my sunroom. It was way too much sun in there. That's what this is, a sunburned leaf. But it seems happy now, so that's good. We're just gonna chop this whole one off. Goodbye, sunburn. I think, for the most part, the other ones just have some crispy tips. I think I'll just cut the tips off. It feels like a crazy angle to do this at. Awesome. This wasn't leaning over quite this much until I decided, maybe I'll untie this actually, but when I decided to shower it off, because the leaves were quite dusty, I have to sneeze. Thank you. Then it started falling over even more because I guess the water pressure was too much, but it really shined the leaves up. But I was going to put this on my list of plants that aren't worth it because what am I supposed to do with this? Like, I've considered chopping it, but it's kind of fun that it looks like a little tree. I'm just really not sure the best way to let aglaonemas grow, but the good news is we are going to need a short stake like this for a different project today, so we can save this. But if I let this go, I mean, it's touching the ground, that's not gonna work. I could almost just wrap it around like that, but I'll tie it. Poplar, you're blocking their view. You're blocking it. I think I'll do 3 ties. And then this should give it a little extra room at the top to grow as well. I don't know, I think we're going with the tree look for this one. It is looking much better. It's hard to get in the frame, especially with poplar taking up half of it. Recently, I've just had it sitting here getting ambient east and south light, but nothing really direct, and it seems to like it. So I'll try growing it like this for a while. Maybe we'll get some more leaves on the top and I don't know, see how tall I could get it. Maybe I could have like a ficus-sized aglaonema. That could be pretty cool. The next plant that I want to work on is this orchid. And I have this little guy resting on top. It has some yellow leaves that I want to take care of. And then I also want to stake up this flower, which I'm actually not really sure why we do that to orchids, but it seems to be what most people do is they will clip a bloom to a stake. So I guess that's what I'll be doing, but I really am curious why we don't just let them bloom like this. But I don't know, I have the stake and I have a clip, so we're gonna get it to bloom. I also don't super know why I'm getting the yellowing, other than perhaps I need to water it more. I will water this today with you guys as well. It was in my IKEA cabinet, and so I thought maybe it was a sunburn thing. Not sure, it's definitely thirsty though. Now that it's in this style of pot, which is such a cool orchid pot, I think I will link it down below. It's just from Amazon, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, it dries out very quickly. I'm watering this multiple times a week. I've already watered it this week and it's time to water again. All right, and I really could clean this off, but I'm just not gonna bother. I don't think it's that serious. I'm gonna call that good. And I did steal this orchid clip from one of my other orchids, although all three are working on flowering right now, which is kind of funny. I think that looks decent. Call that good. I do kind of wish I had more clips, but I don't. And then I am gonna go ahead and chop off this bottom leaf that looks pretty bad as well. And we'll give this a water when I go treat it for spider mites. I don't think I see any, but we're treating everything that was near that anthurium. While we are cutting off leaves and generally making plants look better, I have already treated this one, but I think that I want to chop off this really horrible looking leaf. I really don't know what's going on with it, but it looks so ugly. I just want it to be gone. So say goodbye to this horrific leaf. And then the other ones were plant leaves that came out and kind of told me that like, hey, this needs repotted. I think I'll cut off the really bad ones. Like this one does not look great. Say goodbye. And then this one also doesn't look too good. Other than that, I kind of just want to tie these up. So I think, I've seen people do this with anthurium. I'm just gonna take a big string and try to tie these up and see how it looks. I know that people often have little stakes for this process as well, and I'm finding that that might work easier. So I don't really know how I'm gonna get the string to hold. I think I'm just gonna tie it kind of tight and then pull it up and see if, I think it'd be good to have a stake in here as well. I think I'm gonna go grab one. Hopefully this angle also gives a better view of the whole plant. But I'm gonna try to put this this in here. Seems like it's working okay. Hi, Winston. I need to look at this from the front. I think I do like it. I think you can really only see the big leaf, but I do think it looks better than it did before. So we're gonna roll with it. It is looking more tame for sure. Next, I want to look at this anthurium silver blush. This is also one that I already treated earlier, but it just has some leaves that don't look great. So I want to assess whether or not we might want to cut any of these off or pieces of them off. It's hard with this one because none of them look that bad, but I think I do want to cut off maybe the edge, which I don't think looks that great when you do that to plants, but I just really think it looks really bad when some of the leaves like this one, this doesn't look good. But it's also not that bad of a leaf, you know? I decided it made more sense to point you so you could see this way. This might be one I just cut the whole thing off. Yeah. I mean, it's hard, it's just not that bad of a leaf, but it doesn't look good. There's kind of a lot going on too with this plant. It probably needs repotted. And I don't know if it's putting energy into the blooms, but yeah, we did pollinate this in my last plant chores video, and it has something going on with the bloom, so hopefully that means it's working on berries. I don't really know, but I am monitoring it. This one was just starting to yellow. It wasn't too bad. I do think I am just gonna cut off some of the edges of this one, but not all of it. It's kind of like cutting your hair. Like, it's good to just cut off some at a time, and then you can always cut off more later. All right, I'm gonna call that good for now. It's also looking a little less crazy, which we like. I guess staking and cleaning my plants up seems to be the theme of this portion of the video, because we have another plant that I have a stake in here, but it's not actually tied to it, so that is what we're going to be doing now. This is my philodendron Summer Glory, and it's finally putting out a lot of growth, which I love. Looks like the next leaf it's working on is gonna be huge. The leaves on this can get really, really big, so that's kind of my goal. I don't really even know if this needed staked up too much. Like, it seemed to be fine just resting against it, but I'll cut off some leaves that don't look the best, but overall the leaves on this do look really good. I think I will call that good for now. Next, I have another orchid, and I just want to chop off this dead stem. That's literally it. But this one is looking really, really happy. There we go. Oh no, oh. That was really stupid of me. Oh my gosh. I just wanted to show you how good this plant looks. Okay. Well, we'll put it back in. I actually feel like I might need some more orchid mix to really get this in here. Oh my gosh. How is this bad? Buddy. Okay, the good news is I have a little bit left of this mix. I think I should have taken the sphagnum off around the roots when I potted this up. But it seemed happy, so I didn't want to mess with it too much. You know, clearly it is happy. Like, it's growing quite a bit, and the roots do look really good, but I think there's at least a little more holding it in now. So hopefully that is good enough. Hopefully you don't find cleaning up leaves boring, because that has been a lot of this video. But this is my variegated amydrium, and it has what I presume to be fertilizer burn. I started fertilizing my plants recently, just because I hadn't for a while, given that it was winter and the move and everything, and I went a little crazy, and now this one has quite a bit of browning, and I really care about this plant, so I'm going to be very careful. And overall it looks really good. Actually, the leaf it's working on that's about to pop right here is about to be my first fenestrated leaf. I'm so excited, but I'm going to very carefully cut off some of the browning now. Some of it I'm gonna have to leave, because like this is in the middle of the leaf and I'm not willing to cut this one up that much, but this little piece on the edge, I think I can do it. Okay, this little piece is also on the edge. It helps that this is such a funny looking plant, like I can cut it out and you're not really gonna notice too much, hopefully. Yeah, I feel like that blends in a lot. What did you spend your Sunday doing? Because I spent it carefully and slowly chopping the burnt parts off of my plants. Is this a normal hobby? Maybe not. All right, I think that is looking a lot better. Actually, ooh, I missed a little spot here. Perfect. All right, I think that'll hold off until one day when I want to chop and prop this, but I really want to get this probably 2 moss poles high before I mess around with it too much. Like, I really want to work on it maturing before chopping. I love this plant. It's so beautiful. It was very much an impulse purchase. This is when an impulse purchase was worth it, I think. Although I've been trying not to do that. Oh, it's not connected to the moss pole right now. Up at the top, I don't know what's going on there. It's also activated 3 other growth points down the length. So I'm not sure what's happening there exactly, but there we go. That looks crazy, tilted off to the side, but that puts the growth point that will grow a root right on top of the moss and I don't have to attach it to anything, so I am gonna leave it like that. All right, I brought a couple more plants in here and I'm ready to treat the other plants as well for spider mites. I think this is dried well enough. I'll get the soil. Did I already get this one? I did. So I'm actually gonna take this one back and replace it with something else. Let's work on my variegated amydrium since we were just working on it. So next I grabbed my pothos enjoy, which I am gonna water before we treat it, but I don't see any spider mites, so I'm not gonna worry too much about, I'll get the leaves. And then I have my Hoya compacta. Frankly, this could probably also use a shower, but it doesn't need watered. I just watered it, so I'm probably just going to treat it for now. But I also want to clean up the flowers because it is no longer flowering, but this Hoya flowers for me all of the time, which I love. And the flowers smell like Tootsie Rolls, which I love a lot. Whoop. Don't want it to overflow. I really do try to avoid getting soil in my pipes for obvious reasons. Thank God this Hoya compacta has never had pests because there's too many nooks and crannies. And I'm probably just gonna go ahead and treat this now. It's not too moist. Next, I want to open up my IKEA greenhouse cabinet to do a very simple, quick plant chore. And that is to propagate my Hoya macrophylla elbow. So this is what it's looking like after I took it out of my prop box. It's looking like I have a lot of little growth points here, or like peduncles. Definitely I see one peduncle for sure, and one looks like it's gonna grow a stem and leaves and stuff, but this other one is looking a little crazy. It is looking like it's putting out a peduncle here too, but I just don't like how bare this is. And so I think I'm just going to go ahead and chop it here and propagate it and pot it back in eventually. So let's do that. It's kind of hard to do this one-handed. I think it's just gonna fall. Hopefully it's fine. Hoya leaves tend to be a little bit sappy. You can see a bit of the white on the end here. So I'm gonna let this callus over a bit before putting it in water. One other thing, I'm not really sure why this leaf is so yellow, other than it's new. So I don't know, I don't remember the leaves coming out this yellow, but also when I had this plant before, it mostly flowered for me. It didn't really grow very much. So there's a part of me that's just wondering if I don't remember very well, but yeah, let me know if you, like, it's almost the color of the white wall behind me. So hopefully this grows for me when I propagate it. I think it probably will, but yeah, definitely a bit of a mystery. While we're in here, this feels like a good time to top up the moss pool water on my monstera constellation. It's been a couple days since I filled it up and it's still a little bit moist, but definitely could use a top up. I would say of all my moss pools, this one dries out the quickest, I think because it's just in my office, the air in here is pretty dry, and there aren't really a lot of other plants outside of the ones in this cabinet that are helping increase the humidity in the room. That's my best guess. That's okay. I can't get this plant to grow for me. It hasn't put out a new leaf in at least 6 months, maybe a year. I also did recently repot it. It was insanely root bound, which I think is why it wasn't putting leaves out for me, but even after repotting, I guess it's probably just working on roots and not leaves, but I want leaves, so I don't know. I guess I'll just be patient for now. I think I might pour just a little more in here. There we go. So I have the last few plants in here ready to treat. And we're gonna start out by watering this orchid. I really tried to make sure to water this one well because it's so open on the sides that I just want to make sure everything's really soaked nicely. And then we can do the final pest treatment. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm hoping that it was mostly relaxing, and it definitely was a very realistic afternoon of plant chores for me. I would say most of my plant chores tend to be cutting dead leaves off of my plants and watering. The only thing that could have made it more realistic is if I did more watering, but most of my plants are watered right now, so you got out of seeing that. If you enjoyed this relaxing plant chores video, please make sure to let me know in the comments, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!